Modern medicine has long treated cancer as a localized invader. The standard response is to isolate the physical threat and surgically remove it. When surgery is insufficient, aggressive measures follow. We utilize potent chemicals and high-intensity radiation to target and neutralize the remaining malignant cells. A persistent challenge remains within this targeted methodology. Even after a tumor is successfully eradicated, the disease can re-emerge months or years later. Destroying the physical mass does not address the underlying biochemical conditions that allowed that mass to form in the first place. Hikong Idao, or KCYD, operates on the premise that the human body functions as a single interconnected ecosystem. Consider a tumor to be like a weed. Cutting the plant at the surface is a temporary fix if the soil beneath it remains toxic and degraded. The root system will simply produce new growth. In this framework, the actual target of treatment is the Noi Moi Ching, the body's internal biochemical environment. Long-term healing requires rehabilitating that internal soil to ensure it no longer supports the growth of the symptoms we call disease. Cellular collapse is the result of a specific environmental shift, a drop in core temperature, a lack of oxygen, and an acidic move in pH. This environment disrupts the essential balance of glucose, proteins, lipids, and oxygen that cells require to maintain their structural integrity. Deprived of these resources, healthy cells are forced into a desperate survival mechanism. To avoid death by suffocation, they must adapt to their hostile surroundings. These cells switch to anaerobic fermentation to stay alive. This process sustains the cell, but produces lactic acid as a waste product, further poisoning the local ecosystem. Under these conditions, cancer cells are the survivors of a starved and toxic internal environment. Rehabilitating the environment begins with mechanics. KCYD uses breathing exercises and nutrition to raise blood pressure, which forces oxygen back into starved tissues. This leads to a different perspective on nutrition. While many protocols focus on sugar restriction, KCYD maintains that natural glucose is a biological necessity for generating the heat and energy required for cellular repair. One intervention uses sugar as a delivery vehicle. The starving cell's intense demand for glucose pulls the sugar and paired baking soda through its membrane. Inside, baking soda neutralizes lactic acid, shifting the cell to an alkaline state, removing conditions the tumor needs to persist. Systemic healing is achieved by providing the cells with the exact resources they were lacking: oxygen, heat, and alkalinity. In this framework, recovery focuses on nurturing a starved system back to its functional baseline. Maintaining that baseline, or homeostasis, is a continuous process. It requires constant attention to the inputs the body receives every hour. You can track the state of this internal ecosystem through measurable data. The body provides constant feedback on its oxygen and blood flow levels if you know where to look. Regularly monitoring blood pressure, blood sugar, and saliva pH provides a clear set of indicators. These metrics often signal an environmental shift long before a cellular crisis occurs. Tracking these 3 data points turns the internal environment from an invisible mystery into a managed system. It provides the information necessary to identify and correct shifts in the ecosystem before they manifest as structural failures.